Now to New York, where the Mamdani administration is doing something pretty odd. One of the mayor's top officials tried to have a sit-down with the leader of the Iranian regime. Yeah, the world's leading state sponsor of terror. The regime tied to assassination plots against President Trump, and the one running proxy wars against Americans. The city's International Affairs Commissioner, Anna Maria Archila, scheduled the meeting with Iran's permanent representative to the United Nations, and it took federal officials stepping in to kill it before it ever actually happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I want to start by saying thank God we have Marco Rubio and his State Department, because what they did, they literally just prevented a national crisis, because Zohran Mamdani from out of New York, the communist mayor out of New York, was planning a sit down with one of her top adversaries. And not just any adversary, we're talking about Iran, a country that we're currently at war with. And Zohran Mamdani and his administration thought it was a good idea to sit down with that country. And when confronted about it, Zohran Mamdani, he acted like he didn't know what was going on. And it is not the first time, because I have the proof to show you that they actually did this before, where Marco Rubio had to step in. But let us take a look at this response from Zohran Mamdani after he was busted trying to have this meeting with this Iran leader. Play clip.
My question for you is, recent reporting showed that the International Affairs Commissioner, Anna Maria Archila, was trying to meet with Iran's ambassador. Thoughts on her coordinating that meeting without your awareness? Also, what do you see Archila's role as the Commissioner of International Affairs? Is she supposed to be making these types of foreign policy, I guess, decisions behind your back? I mean, your reaction to that.
I want to be clear on your first question. That meeting did not take place, it will not take place, and I did not know about it until there was a press inquiry regarding it. And when it comes to the work of our commissioner and our International Affairs Office, it's to ensure that as we are a city of the world, that we are also there to meet with leaders from across the world. The focus is always on our city and our relationship.
Here's the thing. New York City is not a city of the world. New York City is an American city, a great American city that Zohran Mamdani is currently destroying. And you cannot tell me that you didn't know about this meeting. It's like saying Marco Rubio is going to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin and President Trump didn't know what was going on. I just wouldn't bite for a dollar. And the question is, why is a city official meeting with a foreign nation, a nation that we're currently at war with? That is the question. And even if Zohran Mamdani didn't know what was going on, why hasn't he fired that lady, the commissioner, Anna Maria? Why is she still working in the administration still? And here we have News Nation pointing out the lies that's being told by Zohran Mamdani. Watch this.
Seth, is there any way Mamdani didn't actually know one of his top officials was actually meeting with Iranian leaders or trying to? I mean, if that's even the case, what does that say about his office?
Well, it seems unlikely to me that he would have no idea. And if he didn't know and she just did this independently, well, why hasn't he fired her? That's the obvious solution. But he, according to him, no, this just needs to be, they need to work out the process a little bit better. He also denied having been told anything by the State Department. He said he found out about this through press inquiries, which seems extremely unlikely.
Well, frankly, it sounds alarming.
There you go, Mamdani's lies being exposed. But I'm not even surprised at this point, because this guy is a self-proclaimed socialist. He's a communist, and I want you to name me one communist that's not a liar. So I'm not even surprised at all. And Mamdani and his administration fostered this environment, because what they told their officials is to meet with foreign leaders that are essentially politically aligned with the left. They're aligning themselves with these folks in order to undermine this country. Take a look at this reporting.
Brain around it, but let's go back to New York City for a second. You have to be a pretty special form of, I'd say, incompetence and blindness to have that happen under your watch.
Well, okay, except that according to the City Journal, who saw some internal messages from this commissioner to Mamdani's internal staff, that they were to take meetings with foreign leaders who, quote, are in political alignment / leftist. And so my question is, why did they think that the Iranian regime is in political alignment or leftist with with them when, yes, the Iran regime is firing on commercial shipping. They're also firing at Americans, at American warships, at Americans based overseas in Kuwait and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. And so this is outrageous that this is something that the Mamdani administration was seeking to do. And also, of course, we know that New York has been really struggling with anti-Semitism, and this is something that has been really important to Mamdani. He has been fueling this anti-Semitism.
And that is Mamdani's administration for you, where they're essentially working to undermine this country. And it only makes sense because if you look at his policies and the things that they've been saying, or Mamdani himself, it only makes sense. He doesn't like this country. What they want to do, they want to undermine this country. Because remember, Zoran Mamdani, he wasn't born in this country. And he migrated to this country, but instead of being grateful for the country that took him in, where he became a citizen, and now he's a mayor, what he's trying to do, he's trying to undermine this country. Because he's saying New York City is a city of the world, instead of saying, well, New York City is a great American city. We're only going to make this place greater. What he wants to do, he wants to dismantle every institution there are, because he's a fan of defunding the police, defunding ICE, getting rid of borders, and all these different things. And now his administration, what they're doing, they're trying to meet with all these foreign countries that hate America and they want America gone. But thank God for Marco Rubio, because this is not the first time, because Mamdani's administration tried meeting with a foreign country before, and Marco Rubio had to put a stop to it.
Not the first offense for the office. Last month, the White House actually intervened to stop a meeting between the mayor and Colombia President Gustavo Petro. Your Democratic colleague, Pramila Jayapal, she admitted to actively working with foreign governments to benefit Cuba. So it seems like this is happening maybe a little bit more often than any of us should feel comfortable.
I think any time you have left-wing political leaders at the local level trying to reach out and support regimes that are enemies of the American people, we need to be very concerned about that, whether that's Cuba or Iran in this case. I think sometimes local elected officials, they get excited where they get a chance to do something on the national stage. But this is not a game. Again, you know, this Iranian regime has been chanting death to America for nearly 50 years. They killed nearly 1,000 Americans when I was in Iraq.
As mentioned before, it is not Mamdani's first offense or his administration. And I think that there needs to be an end to this. I think the administration, the Trump administration, needs to send a clear message. I think Mamdani should be investigated. I think Mamdani should be held accountable. I think people in his administration should be sent to jail over this. There's no way you're telling me that a city official is meeting with our enemies and we're letting them off the hook. How is that even possible? How is that not treason? Because you have Jayapal wanting to meet with Cuba. You have Hassan and all these communist socialists going to Cuba to help out the regime over there. You have Zoran Mamdani and his administration meeting with Iran. And we're just letting it happen. So I think the administration needs to put an end to all that craziness that's going on. And let us talk about Marco Rubio, because me personally, I think he's doing a great job. Because Tim Walz over there in Minnesota pardoned a sex offender, and Marco Rubio turned around and deported that individual. And the left, they're having a complete meltdown. Take a look at this.
Just weeks ago, a convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Vang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to pay his victim for her silence, and he called his heinous crimes a minor thing. Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today, he has been removed from the United States.
That was Marco Rubio, the great Secretary of State, doing God's work. Because you have these leftist politicians like Zoran Mamdani, Tim Walz, trying to destroy this country where they don't care about Americans. And you have folks like Marco Rubio looking out for the people of this country.
In this case, I would state this, that I can find no reason how Minnesota will be safer or better if Mr. Vang is deported to a country he has not been to since he was a child.
9 reports Vang's victim wrote a letter to the board forgiving him, and they say that was a key factor in their move to pardon Vang. Charlie Rachling with.
How in good conscience you can know that someone assaulted someone sexually, and you as the governor, you're expected to lead. You're expected to be the example, and you're going to pardon that individual? It just doesn't make sense to me at all. And that brings us to the end of this video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below in regards to Mamdani. Do you think he knew about that meeting? And let me know what you think about Tim Walz as well, pardoning that guy, Val, or whatever his name is. Also, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.